Hi there. The A to Z's of nutrition and health is here to equip you and help you feel great, look radiant, and live healthy. So here it is in a nutshell. I have to do this, so I'll just go ahead and do it. Here's my disclaimer. The information that I'll be talking about has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. It is based on my own personal research and experiences. It is not intended to be used to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Okay, here we go. This week, we are cracking the nutshell about calcium. Now, when I was growing up on ranches in northeastern New Mexico, we always had at least one milk cow, and usually two. My dad bred the cows on a schedule so that we most generally had fresh milk to drink year around. None of that store-bought pasteurized stuff for us. Our entire family would drink at least one glass of milk at just about every meal. And when Larry and I got married, we moved to California and to the city. I was stuck with store-bought milk. At first, I did not care for the taste, but I did acquire a taste for it finally. When I became pregnant with our first baby was the first time that I faced cavities in my teeth. I was totally unaware that the baby I was carrying would use the calcium from my bones and teeth for its needs. At that time, I just thought sugar was the cause of tooth decay. By the time I was pregnant with our second baby, my doctor suggested that I should take a multiple vitamin that included calcium. I have no clue what type of supplement I took, but at least I didn't end up with quite as much deterioration to my teeth. To this day, most of my dental problems stem from those cavities during the years I was pregnant with my babies. My next concern with calcium was when we were in our early 40s and Larry was battling a high blood pressure problem. He had studied and found out that calcium could possibly help address his blood pressure. He started taking a calcium supplement, and we cut back on salt intake by using more garlic and cooking. Yes, it did help bring his blood pressure down a little. It was actually when he started taking salmon oil as well that he had amazing results with his blood pressure, though. I cringe to think about how ignorant I used to be about nutrition and how it plays such an important role in our long-term health. Now I know just how important calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D are for your heart. No longer do I take the health of my heart for granted. God created our bodies as such amazing machines. He designed everything to work together. And when one part breaks down, it affects the rest of our body. Now, one of the benefits of taking the proper amount of calcium is that calcium is essential for muscle contraction. That's why it's good if you have muscle cramps. That's an indicator that you may be low on calcium and also magnesium. The heart is a muscle, so it makes sense that calcium is necessary for the heart muscle to work and function properly. Now, in the article I wrote earlier this week about calcium, I mentioned that calcium is not a standalone mineral. It needs other minerals and nutrients in order to do its job. Now, magnesium partners with calcium to help direct it to where it is needed. So when you supplement with calcium, you should always make sure you are getting magnesium. I mentioned earlier that calcium can help lower blood pressure. Magnesium is actually known as nature's channel blocker. If you're familiar with blood pressure medications, some of them are called channel blockers, and they're used to regulate the heartbeat. So we have learned that calcium is essential for muscle contraction. Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation. This is another indicator of how they work together to balance one another. Now, many years ago, Larry was also diagnosed as having a mitral valve prolapse, which is a fairly common heart valve problem. This was discovered because he was experiencing times of feeling like his heart would stop beating. It felt like it was stopping and starting in an irregular manner. And we were told at the time to not worry about it. It had always been that way. Our question was, why did it all of a sudden start being noticeable? I found out recently that it is very common for people who have mitral valve prolapse to also be deficient in magnesium. And this makes sense to me. If magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation, why wouldn't a deficiency contribute to the sensation of an irregular heartbeat? Now, in the case of my teeth suffering during my pregnancies, God's design put the priority of calcium where it needed to be with my baby. I am so thankful God has given me a passion to learn more about nutrition and basics of how the body uses the fuel we give it to function at its best. It gives me direction to know how to plan the food we eat and what supplements we need to fill the gaps in our daily diet. Now, I personally do my best to eat a balanced diet most days. And I also take my high-quality food source Neolife supplements, including CalMag with vitamin D. I do these things so I will have the health and energy to be involved in a variety of activities and to help others have a better life. I believe taking care of my health is honoring to God. I believe taking care of my health allows me to bring joy and happiness to family and friends. Tell me in the comments what you think about this video and what you have learned and maybe what kind of experiences you've had with calcium. That's it for today. Calcium in a nutshell.